You've been carrying so much on your own, smiling through it, but it's heavy on your soul. But right here, you don't have to pretend. You can breathe, you can let it in. Every story matters, every voice is gold, even the ones you never told. Ain't no judgment, ain't no shame. We are healing, we are the same. Oh, oh, oh. Open hearts, we listen, hear music. Every word, every tear we hear. CJ and Shereese, yeah, we hold the space. You belong, you got a place. Come and be a guest on the show. Tell your truth, let your story flow. This a home where your voice can grow. You not alone, no, you not alone, no, you not alone. You not alone. Ooh, it take courage just to speak your pain. Say it out loud, let it fall like rain. So many hearts been brave enough to share, and every time we feel it in the air, we feel you. Open hearts, we listen here. Is it every word, every tear we hear? CJ and Shereese, yeah, we hold the space. You belong, you got a place. Come and be a guest on the show. Tell your truth, let your story flow. This a home where your voice can grow. You not alone, no, you not alone, no, you not alone. Don't be afraid, your voice was made to be heard this way. What you survive might save somebody, so speak it out, you don't gotta hide it. Speak it, speak it, yeah. Speak it, speak it, speak it, speak it, speak it, speak it. Ooh, we right here with you. Open hearts, open hearts, yeah. Open hearts, open hearts. We right here with you. Open hearts, we listen here. Listen, every word, every tear we hear. CJ and Shereese, yeah, we hold the space. You belong, you got a place. Come and be a guest on the show. Tell your truth, let your story flow. This a home where your voice can grow. You not alone, no, you not alone, no, you not alone. You not alone. You can let it go right here. You can let it go right here. You ain't gotta hold it in no more. You've been carrying so much on your own, smiling through it, but it's heavy on your soul. But right here, you don't have to pretend. You can breathe, you can let it in. Every story matters, every voice is gold, even the ones you never told. Ain't no judgment, ain't no shame. We are healing, we all the same. Oh, open hearts, we listen, hear music. Every word, every tear we hear. CJ and Shereese, yeah, we hold the space. You belong, you got a place. Come and be a guest on the show. Tell your truth, let your story flow. This a home where your voice can grow. You not alone, no, you not alone. It take courage just to speak your pain. Say it out loud, let it fall like rain. So many hearts been brave enough to share, and every time we feel it in the air. Open hearts, we listen.
Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome in, everybody. And I'm sorry, I'm going to do something a little different. Latrice, I see your message, baby. We appreciate you being here and speaking. Please go rest. We love you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, welcome Latrice in the building. We hope you're feeling better, sis, and get your rest. We can't wait to see you back on your feet and all that good stuff. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into season 5 of the Social Den. We are your host, CJ Shereese, as always. Today is a very special show. We found out from one of our supporters a couple of lives back that April is Autism Awareness Month. And for those that, I'm sure everybody in this chat knows that autism is a very, very common thing, and not just in the United States, but in the world. So, we just felt like, with the Social Den, y'all know we touch on everything, even on topics that most people don't, feel comfortable enough talking about, or they don't feel like they have a stage or a platform to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, we just felt like we would just use our platform to, shed light on such a sensitive subject and a very important subject, which is autism. So, anyone that, I don't know who in this chat, who in the bushes or whoever's watching, if you have a friend, family member, anybody that has autism, maybe you have autism, but tonight is going to be, your time to talk about it. And y'all know this is a no judgment zone. So, you could talk however you want to talk, say whatever you want to say, share whatever you want to share, and it's going to stay right here. So, shout out to the 8 million in the building. We're going to get to this chat, and then we are going to get started.
And we also have a guest tonight, y'all.
Yes, we also have a guest that's going to come up and talk about autism and their experiences with it. And and then
guest is actually special to us, right? Special and close to us, to me. But we'll get into that after CJ goes through the chat, and we'll, make y'all a little aware of him when we get closer to it.
All right. We got StreamYard in the building as always. Welcome in. We got Edward in the building. Welcome in, Edward.
Hey, brother Edward.
We got Good Eating with Mika in the building. Welcome in.
Hey, Mika boo.
We got Boss Bitch Toya. What up, sis?
Hey, my crybaby thug.
Triple D in the building. Welcome in, Triple D. Got my girl Michelle in the building.
Hey, Michelle.
We got the iconic Meat and I in the building. Welcome in.
Hey, bro and sis.
The Honorable Joni Meeks in the building. Welcome in, Joni.
Joni Love.
Of course, y'all seen Latrice. Everybody, please, send your prayers and all that good stuff. All the best energy to Latrice and her for a speedy recovery.
Full recovery.
Yes. We got Mika T in the building. Welcome,
hey, Mika. That's Mika.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
That's my best friend, y'all.
We got Diva Mom in the building. Welcome in, Diva Mom.
Hey, Diva Mom.
Let me see. Who else we got up in here? Prince Daniel in the building. Welcome in, Prince. Satin in the building. What up, Satin?
Boo.
What's going on, sis?
Sonia
in the building.
Sonia.
Hey, brother and sister, not feeling well, so I'm in the bushes. I love you. We love you too,
love
sis.
You
Hope you
feel better.
Absolutely. And of course, y'all know we'll as more people pile in, we'll speak to everybody as everybody piles in. All right. So like we said, y'all, tonight is special. It's going to be one of those episodes where we're going to learn together. If you don't know much about autism, you're going to learn about it tonight. My wife and I aren't specialists in this subject at all, or in this field. I've done research. I had some things pulled up on our computer. I printed out some things. I actually have a couple of stats, and all of that good stuff. So we're gonna float together on this. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we'll have some people in the chat that will be able to shed a bright light on it and tell us things that we don't know about autism. And our guest tonight, hopefully, will be able to shine light on it as well.
He'll be sharing his experience. I don't want to give too much. He's going to come up and tell, but I will say that he's lived with it, so he's going to share his personal experience with it and answer some questions for us and whatever he wants to share.
Absolutely. So I guess the best thing to do is just start with what autism is. I was born with autism. I think I know a thing or two about autism. Okay. That's great. That's great. We glad you're here tonight, Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, anybody that's dealing with it or has family members or friends that deals with it, you've been able to see it head on with your own eyes. And even if you have it, of course, you're experiencing it, physically and mentally too. So now we happy to have anybody here that's dealing with it or that's aware of it, personally. But autism spectrum disorder, known as ASD, but it's for short. It's they just call it autism, of course. But the key word in that is spectrum, which we'll touch on as well. Before I go in the bushes, I would like to say my baby boy and 2 of my godchildren are autistic. Okay. All right. Oh, well, that means that you've been able to see it as well. And we're going to talk about, but now listen, this show is not just going to be touching on, it's not going to be shining a light on the negative aspects of autistic people, because autistic individuals are very special individuals.
Yep.
Some of the smartest people in the world are autistic, but we're going to get to all of that. You know what I'm saying? But like I was saying, yes, and they are all 3 so different. Yeah, dope people. I never talked about it, but my brother's autistic. Okay. Well, like I said, this is y'all's chance. If you have anything to share that you're comfortable enough to share in the chat, you're more than welcome to do so. Because I'll be touching on I'm highlighting all of the comments, and as we go along, as we go on with the night. Hey, Barbara.
Hey, Barbara. Welcome.
How you doing? In. Y'all, that is AJ313 sister, Barbara. Welcome back to the chat. Sis. Shout out to the 20 million in the building. We got more and more people piling in. We appreciate everybody for being here. Hope everybody was able to thumbs up the live and share out the live. And again, another thing, if y'all hear me say anything tonight that's not correct when it comes to autism, please correct me, because like I said, I'm not a specialist in this. What I'm about to speak on is from research that I've done myself. So if anybody sees anything or hears anything that y'all feel like is incorrect, please check me on the spot. I wanted to speak today on my experience having an autistic child. He'll be 8. Barbara, the panel will be open soon, so you will be more than welcome to come up and speak on your child. So, and I'm glad that you're comfortable enough to want to share that with us. Well, I wanted to just do the basis real quick on what it is. We got AJ in the building. Welcome in, AJ. Welcome in. But yeah, real quick, y'all, and then we're gonna might as well just go ahead and start going to our panel. But like I said, it's autism spectrum disorder, known as ASD, but most commonly known as autism, of course. And they said it is classified as a neurological developmental disorder. Those with autism experience difficulty with social skills, communication, and behavior. Specifically, those with autism may experience difficulty having conversations or failure to initiate or respond to social interactions, inability to understand nonverbal communication like eye contact or body language. I've also learned that autistic individuals you know, it takes them a while to come around. You know what I'm saying? If how can I say? Yeah, to come around pretty much. Like they have difficulty with eye contact and stuff like that, you know, because they feel like they have to get comfortable, you know, um, with the surroundings. I'm not even going to say with individuals. I'll say with the surroundings because they look at everything. An absence of interest in peers or making friends. It's not personal. It's just mentally that's what they're dealing with. Repetitive motor or speech movements, like twirling hair or hand flapping. Always moving. It just happens. It's nothing. It's just something that they deal with. Insistence on things being the same and difficulty adhering or adjusting to changes in routine. I guess that's in a way something like what is it called, baby?
Sorry, I didn't even.
No, it's all good. Restricted and fixated interests and hyper to sensory hyper or hypo reactivity to sensory input. The severity of these symptoms varies depending on the person. They can also increase or decrease in severity. Some people with autism live independent lives. Keyword independent.
Mm-hmm.
Some may have more severe issues that require a higher level of care, meaning there are people with autism that live great lives.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They're able to take care of themselves, pay their own bills, go to work. You know what I'm saying? They just look at the world in a different way. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And some, like they said, some people just require more care than others. All autistic people are different. That's the key. That's another key. They are not the same just because they are autistic. They're all individuals differently at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to touch on the spectrum part of it real quick. It's called autism spectrum disorder. So autism is understood as a spectrum. In the past, people thought the spectrum was a straight line between more and less autistic. This isn't right. Today, we understand the spectrum to mean each autistic person has a unique combination of characteristics. Each autistic person has a unique combination of characteristics. Autistic people can be very different to each other with different sets of strengths, not weaknesses, strengths and challenges. The presence of visibility of characteristics can vary a lot between autistic people. This can also change over time in different situations or if the person is masking. It is important not to make assumptions about an individual's autistic person's skills, abilities, or support needs. Autism is not a learning disability or mental health condition, but around a third of autistic people also have a learning disability, and autistic people are more likely to experience mental health problems. So, real quick, Christian is his name, fam. I hope everyone is going well. Going well. Happy Hump Day. All of the autistic children I know are some of the most creative little souls. That's a fact. The young man that brought my Instacart order to the car on Saturday was autistic and such a sweet man. They're amazing people, man. They're amazing people. What's going on, Tag? So look, I just wanted to touch on the spectrum part and just get a basis of what autism is for anybody that maybe wasn't aware or doesn't know. So we're going to go ahead and bring up one of our guests, and I'm gonna let my wife introduce our guest while I look at something on the iPad, which I research.
Okay, so our guest tonight is my god brother. And we watched him grow from a baby.
A jit.
When he was born, he was the size of my pinky finger. And the doctors did not, they told his mom he was not going to make it. And his mother was on the show. That is my best friend. And one thing that I love and respect about his mom. No matter what the doctor said, she never treated him like he had autism or anything else. She never treated him special, babied him or anything. And he is a wonderful, wonderful young man. I'm so proud of the man that he grew up to be. So, everybody, welcome my baby to the stage, Tyrell. He don't have his camera on, y'all.
Hold on. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get him up here.
All right.
Let me see. That's probably me. It's me. I'm sure.
You good?
Yep. What up, Tyrell?
Hey, how you doing, CJ? How you doing, Reese? How y'all doing,
Hey,
Chad?
Good.
I know.
Well, happy to be here.
Nah, you're good. You're good. But say it's been a little minute since I actually did like a podcast or I had like talk to chat. So I just want to say pretty much. How would I start this? Ooh.
Take your time. I mean, we can lead you in. We can ask you some questions. However you want to do it.
Okay. All right.
But how about we start with
Okay.
how has it been living life, with autism?
See, the crazy thing is like even like when I was younger, it was like certain things I couldn't make like eye contact or like mostly eye contact or like certain cues I pretty much I couldn't pick up on. That makes sense. Like say me and you had a conversation, I would either like look, I wouldn't look you straight in like the eyes. That makes sense. Like
Right.
that make like pretty much that. Then always when I was in school and like as like this, they always said he wouldn't, pretty much essentially they said he wouldn't be nothing or they always doubted him essentially. But the good thing is I have like people in my corner and also support who always work me, including my mom, my godmother, even Reese and CJ themselves too. They always pushing me, to become a better person, like pretty much saying like, hey, just because all the odds are against you, that doesn't define you. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
But I would say one thing, like having autism and like this, I wouldn't even let that even get like, I wouldn't even like show even like if y'all see me now, y'all like never knew like, oh, he has autism or like, he's on the spectrum. Like how it is now, even think well, people push me and like they always tell me like, hey, just because you can't get it the first time or something's difficult doesn't mean you can overcome it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But since then, I will say it has been a challenge, like especially like younger, like I said, they always doubted me or like they say, he wasn't going to do nothing or he's going to achieve or even like overcome some certain things. I will admit it has been for me, like being like normally even like having autism, it has been like ups and downs just because I learned something in certain ways. People pick up this and people like pick up that. For instance, like some people's get like grammar, reading, stuff like that. I was good at patterns, numbers, and math. That was always been my strong suit. Social, I wasn't very social at all. Depending on like the topic, I usually like, chime in like this, but I normally stay to myself. I have my routine, of course, like, wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, make my bed, stuff like that. That's what I normally would do. But then like if it depends on like the certain topic like this, I'll either like I get so either like excited or I just like I become like social like person. That makes sense. But depending on that is I'm normally it is weird because since I had me as a kid, I always knew I was different. Not in a sense like, oh, hey, he's like, he's not social. He don't talk a lot like this, like this. I always knew I learned things differently. Just because someone, goes by the book or because someone, does this and this. My thing is I always learn by either hands on, like take things apart, stuff like that. That's how I normally do. I never follow instructions, X, Y, Z. That's why I normally how I learn.
Right.
And sometimes in like school, they was always ask me like, hey, he does this and this, like, a certain way, just like math and stuff. How he always get the problem. I usually never like, write things down like this. I just know in my head, like it's numbers. I know I can do this and this. That's how I've always been. It's always, I show you work, do this and do that. Nah, it's like in my mind, I know how like I can work around things versus, if it's reading, I might struggle a little bit on it, but eventually I'll catch on.
And that was him. Like CJ used to help him do his homework, and that would be Tyrell. CJ would be like, all right, you got to show your work here. And Tyrell would be like, no, this is the answer.
Yep, that's how I was even in school, even like math, like science, like this. These like teachers, like, oh, he does this and this. He doesn't show his work, but he always get it right regardless of it. He's like, dang. He's like, they thought I was being smart at me. Like, nah, this is how I am. Because in my head, I feel like there's like 1,000 ways, like me learning something or me understanding something versus like someone one go by based off the book or someone goes like this and this, like that. That's just how I always been in my head.
Absolutely. I mean, I just remember because I used to help all the kids with their homework. Like I was the one that helped all the kids with their homework, our daughter and our goddaughter, everybody. And but when it came to Tyrell, it took a lot of patience, that's all. And I was very patient, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it took. It takes patience.
It does.
They not they. I keep saying
you gotta like work with them. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
Even like people like special needs, you have to work with them. Just because they have a physical and mental like disability doesn't mean you have to treat them a certain way. You gotta work with them. It might take them longer for them to grasp something or understand something. Just best you just work for them instead of just treating like, oh, like you can't do this, can't do that. One thing I learned, even like from my peers like this, or if I've seen somebody with a disability like this, I tell them you gotta work with them. It might take them longer, or it might take them, trials and error, but eventually they will overcome it. I'm telling people that.
And they're all individuals, like I said earlier. They're all individuals.
They are
very, very, very smart. Smart. You know what I'm saying? Very smart. Welcome in, DT Cruiser.
Welcome in. What made you become comfortable to start speaking up and about being autistic, bro?
I would say maybe like recently, I wouldn't say maybe a few years ago, even probably before that. Anytime I see like a disabled person, or like say if I see like someone that's like that's on the spectrum like this, I usually think like don't treat them like an object or a label. Like you got treat them as like, I wouldn't say a known person, but treat them as like if it's their own. So don't treat them as like a label. Like hey, just because they do it this way doesn't mean you always gotta do it that way. That makes sense. And I feel like people need to understand that at the end of the day, we're all human. And just because someone has a disability doesn't mean not be physical or mental like that. Doesn't mean you have to treat them like a certain way. So anytime I see people like in public, that's either like that kid's on the spectrum or XYZ, I'm like, just because I beat the odds and like this, they can beat the odds as well. It might take them longer, depending on like what it is, but I feel like everybody has a chance. Just because it's not a physical like disability like this, you don't know mentally what's they're going on. And I feel like everybody has a chance. You just gotta work with them. Even might take longer, like I said. It's just like something I always interested. Even like when I get older, I just want to just represent people that's on the spectrum or just people that's disabled like that. So I feel like we all deserve a chance, and I feel like we all should have some type of support, regardless if it's friends or family, but some type of support, positive support.
Absolutely. And what about tell us about all of your accomplishments? Like, you graduated.
Let's we can start. Let's see. Start from learn how to tie my shoes at 7. We can start from I got my license 2 years ago. I actually graduated from CCBC Catonsville in the automotive field technology. So I have a high school degree and I also have a diploma. Social, it's actually social degree too.
Yep.
And
looking how did you feel like when having all of those odds going against you, people telling you what you wasn't going to do? And I know you had your support in your corner, but knowing that so many people telling you couldn't do it, how do you feel graduating with those good grades from high school and then college and getting your driver's license? How do you feel with those accomplishments under your belt?
Because at first I didn't know how I feel. Like when I first got, I'm like, dang. But looking back, and I'm like, it really started from like even I was in, elementary school, middle school, just saying that he was going to make it or everybody was going to guess me. But even like when I graduated from like college with a GPA of 3.1, even high school with a GPA of 3.7, I'm looking back and I'm like, dang, I really did it. Even though people say he was going to do this, he wasn't going to talk, he wasn't going to walk, X, Y, Z, and I really did it. And I just used them. All the negative stuff is just energy, just keep going.
That's right.
That's right. That's good. That's great, actually. I mean, y'all had, coming from someone that lives with it. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in, Geraldine.
Welcome in, Geraldine. Thank you for stopping in.
Absolutely. And welcome in also, Together We Break.
Hey, welcome in. Anybody that, raising, I know baby sis said her baby's about to turn 8 years old. Tyrell is here and he's, this is proof. You can do it. You can graduate. You can move on, and there's things that you can still do. This does not hinder you from anything. Just support your babies through life.
Yep, absolutely. Tag actually said something. My cousin's twin boys have autism and ADHD, but are nonverbal. They created their own language that only they understand and have extreme gifts. Both are adults now. One can take a computer apart and put it back together. The other one memorizes movie credits and will write them down with perfect handwriting. Wow. See? Who writes down movie credits?
Because the crazy thing is that I can take apart Legos. I can rebuild things like from computers, watches like that all the time. It's just like certain all habits we have. People don't think like that. We think no cliche, but we think out of the box. We just because step A and this happens like this, we have plan B, plan X, C like this. We think pretty much out the norm.
Right.
But that's definitely a blessing, though. I will say this. I'm grateful, I actually, I have it and I get to experience and also shed my light on living with it and still how I deal with it as a person.
And that's amazing to hear you say, because there's a lot of people who will go through life and say, why me? Why am I dealing with this? So to hear you say that you appreciate having it and being able to talk about it, that's different, and it's good to hear.
Yeah. Because even when I was younger, I even say a couple years ago, I used to ask why me? Why me? But I realized something, why not me? Because, I'm blessed. I came this far. I can't give up on my family, my friends, also myself. So I feel like I made it this far. It's not my end point, but I keep going.
Right.
Regardless of the odds against me. I got to see where they failed at. And they say he's not going to do this and like that. Just all the negativity like this. Just ignore it and just keep going. Especially got friends and family that's rooting for you to succeed.
Right. Yeah. So what y'all don't know is Tyrell is a twin.
Yes.
How was it having Tay and her helping you through some of the things? Because for some of your life, you and Tay were, in some classes together, and she would help you with some things. So how do you feel having your sister there to help you?
So when we was younger, I didn't start talking maybe 7 or 8. That makes sense, because my twin sister, which is my oldest, pretty much the oldest twin, like me and you, like me and them. She's always been the voice of reason, or if I had an issue or problem, they call his sister, hey, pretty much she's the one who would speak for me. But then when middle school, high school had to when that came around, I had to realize I can't always use her as my clutch, but if someone supports me or if I need help with anything like this, when it comes to grammar or school related or anything from work or XYZ, I call either my sister or I call my twin. Or my twin, or I call my mom. But Taylor, I would say definitely, I definitely appreciate my sister. Even in school, I didn't talk at all, so she has always been the voice of reason, and she always helped me throughout my way. I am grateful for her.
Right.
Yes.
It is. And that is Tyrell's mom in the chat, and she, like I said earlier, she just put it in here. She would say, I never treated Tyrell differently, and we didn't label him. And that is so true. He was never labeled. and he was never treated any differently. Although I want to say there was a few times I wanted to put that boy on the roof, because one thing he knew was every damn car, penny, and anything else that belonged to him, he knew how he put it and how it's set. Remember that, baby?
I do.
Yeah. I see. I still got my Legos and I still collect my Hot Wheels. It's set a certain way because I know it. Even like, for instance, like I have like I work on like cars and stuff like this. I have a toolbox. A certain way how things go, it might look slightly a mess, but I know how things are like this. I know when something's missing. I can tell you that. Just I have somewhat organization, but I know like, hey, just because it's set this way, oh, I know. Like, say you move this and this inside, best believe I know.
Tyrell.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember when you had Uncle Vaughn move that whole refrigerator to get them cars?
Yeah, I was telling your mom about that too, because I went there the other day when it was her birthday. I let her know. I was like, I told her like when I dropped my Hot Wheel, my Lego or something like that. He had to move it, get my toy.
Never forget those times.
Nope.
Never forget those times at all.
The crazy thing is he actually took his time out of his day to actually do that.
Yes, God.
No, her snuggles.
Tony said, that's my baby. He likes stuff very specific.
Yes.
Tag said, I think people with autism are really just special gifts to the world that people need to adapt to instead of expecting them to, adapt to us. They have brilliant minds beyond our understanding. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
And that's the perfect word, brilliant.
Like, if you ever meet me, like, you'll never know, like, I was on the spectrum. Like, some people, I just told somebody recently, yeah, you know how autism? They like, wait, huh? For real? Like, yeah, I can like look at people directly, like have conversations. I was like feeling them and stuff like this. But I would say my mom and also like CJ Shereese, even my godmother, they actually like helped me walk through it. You know, like when you talk to somebody, look to them straight, you know, always, you know, pretty much have good eye contact and just essentially just have a calm like this. They're just like spazzing around like that. So you just, you know, pretty much lock into us, have a conversation, just talk to them like that versus, you know, doing like, not so your arms, like hands like this.
Yeah.
I was that they always helped me through it, even though it took me a long time to like, you know, kind of grasp the idea of like, even like, you know, I gotta, anytime when someone's talking to them, I had to present myself or I have to not act a certain way, but I had to pretty much, what's another word? I have to, I would say not act, but represent a certain way, or I had to do this a certain way. Not feel like the norm, but, you know, normalize like, hey, he does, just because he's like, you know, has a disability doesn't mean it has to be physical, but it's actually like something mental. That makes sense.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrell had his person, which was Reman, and I had to let him have his person, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
He was Tyrell. Actually, he was my replacement. I got kicked to the curb, and he was my mother's baby.
I'm still her Snookums. I still got my room in her room. I mean, her house.
That is Snookums.
Yeah.
I got
shout
her
out
for her birthday.
Shout out to the 20 million in the building, y'all. We I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link to. Yeah. Can you hit enter, baby?
Hit who?
Enter.
On
the keyboard.
Oh. Tyrell, before we let you go, I did, but it didn't. Before we let you go, is there any advice you would give to anybody else that's dealing with autism?
My advice to give like anybody deal with autism, I would just say just work with them. Not even saying like, you know, just work with them. Don't treat them as a label. Treat them as like a regular person. Just because they grasp things or learn things differently doesn't mean you have to discipline them. I'm just saying work with them and just learn that just because it takes them longer to do a certain thing, like do a certain task or like learn something like this, you gotta just work with them. Regardless of like, you know, they're not doing something right like this. Just work with them and just keep a calm mind. And then most importantly, just stay focused and like that on them. Cause that's all they need. Just you gotta give them that sense, not even just hope, but you pretty much give them, essentially I'll say hope, but also just work with them.
Right.
Absolutely.
Regardless if it takes long or not. But no, I'm down for to ask any questions and like that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for coming up, bro.
Yeah.
And you know, if you want, just stay in the chat. And you know, you can also just you know, talk amongst the people in the chat because they have great conversations in the chat too. So
does anybody have any questions for Tyrell before he goes anywhere?
Yeah, I'm probably on for like another 5 or so minutes. Just let me know. Y'all can speak up. You can ask me anything or just any advice.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming up and speaking, little brother. You know we love you, and we will be talking soon.
Yep.
Oh, someone has a question.
Oh, Barbara says she has a few questions, Ro.
Okay. How you doing, man?
Barbara, of course you can
come on up. Hit that.
Come on up. Come on up. We all family.
And real quick, we just got
a new member.
Got a new member.
Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
membership.
Nice. Coming to the membership, DT Cruiser. And if I could, real quick, y'all know we got to play the membership video and song for DT Cruiser. We appreciate you, and here you go.
For joining the membership, CJ and Shereese, you rockin' with the best of it. VIP vibes, yeah, you part of the ride of the love. We gon' show you how. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Exclusive love. Yeah, that's right here for you.
Shout out to DT Cruiser for becoming a member. We definitely appreciate you, man. Anybody that becomes a member, we appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all so much. All right, y'all, we're going to welcome Barb to the stage. Welcome in, Barbara.
Hey, baby sis.
How you doing, Barb?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Just you're gonna hear my son in the background. He's happy stimming, so
that's fine.
Just letting you guys know.
Like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, so he that's something I wanted to get up here and touch on because I heard how he was saying how his twin sister was a lot of help. My son is turning 8 tomorrow, but I also have a daughter that's turning 10 this year, and she's older than him. And there are times where I can't figure out what's wrong with him or what's going on, and she will walk up and take over, and they have like they have an understanding with each other. My youngest daughter, like he and her beef so much, like they have no type of understanding with each other, like they beef no matter what. But like my oldest daughter and him, like they are like two peas in a pod. Like I wish they could go to the same school and like be in some of the same classes because she would help him out a lot. But she also is ADHD, so she has um a little bit difficulty in class, staying focused, staying still. But she also doesn't have any type of like learning stipulations. Like she learns perfectly fine, but she's a bit more passionate about how she feel, what she says, things she does. So that is the difference between autism and ADHD that I am watching my children go through. But far as things I wanted to touch on with him and eye contact, it took me years to get my son to hold eye contact, and even still it maybe lasts maybe 30 seconds, maybe not even then. He does not do eye contact at all. I thought for a while something was wrong with that, and I did let the doctors know, and that was how I found out about him being autistic. I think I learned about it when he was maybe like 7 or 8 months old, to be confirmed. But the eye contact thing is a big thing.
It
Like
is.
they do not like eye contact. They do not like to be touched a lot. I'm learning that more because I like
it's
to
like
love on
certain
him,
things.
but I try not to
Certain
get
things,
offended. Like I have to tell my children don't be offended because we like to hug and he don't like that. He don't want to hug. He don't want to be like touchy feely. He is nonverbal.
Okay.
He does have a communication tablet. He does not like to use it. He more so he will say one word. He is not like a sentence type of child yet. But the thing that I am having the biggest issue with that I see on social media that people like to joke about and say, well, you know, it can never be me, is his temper. In school, out of school, like his temper is like a big thing. He can't communicate how he feel and say what's on his mind or what he feels or what's going on. So it's frustrating. And a lot of people don't understand that and they don't have patience for that. So another thing I would tell parents that are dealing with it, just make sure like when you're sending your child to like a school, I know some people don't have a choice in the school that they send their child to, but just make sure that people are doing it and actually doing it and they actually love what they're doing because it
Definitely.
matters. The first school that he was in, I got calls every day to come pick him up. He did not want to be at that school. He and his teacher did not get along. They did not get along for the life of me, and I could not figure it out. I was very like discouraged about it, and I thought like it was my parenting. I figured maybe it was something I wasn't doing enough, or maybe I was something I wasn't doing right. But I completely switched his school. He has a different teacher. It's a different environment, and it's a completely different turnaround. So that also matters. It sometimes has nothing to do with the home. It could also have everything to do with the school.
That's
So
true.
that's another thing. You have students that are bullies. My son is in a MyKai classroom. So he is not with just all autistic kids. He's in a classroom with kids that have all type of illnesses and, everything going on. So with that being said, he's dealing with a lot of different kids around him. So it could get overwhelming. He's in a stage now where he's biting. So I'm not sure if you ever went through that or if that was a thing for you, Tyrell, but he is in a phase now where he's biting and he's very like physical, not to other children, but to adults.
But say I wouldn't. I mean, the biting part I haven't experienced, but I did like I used to like hit my like sisters. Well, sometimes I used to hit my sisters get their attention. If that makes sense. But I
Mm,
would say like when it comes to like eye contact, fine. Is this something that he likes or something like he enjoys like watching or like has like kind of like hobbies something like that to get like his attention? Like
Um,
my thing was Transformers, it was Legos, and it was like SpongeBob. Like for the
Legos.
longest
He
time,
is
my mom.
insane about Legos. The Legos and the
Hmm.
alphabets. The
Yep.
alphabets he's crazy about. My biggest issue with him right now is my blinds. He does
Okay.
not realize how much blinds cost. He is ripping my blinds to shreds and he's making letters with them all over the house. I cannot make this up to you guys. He
Oh.
went through a phase where if he had fries, he turned them into
Hmm.
letters on the floor. If he had like any type of nuggets or just anything, he turned it into letters on the floor. He went through a phase where like everything he had to turn into letters. Now he has like if he eats Skittles, he cannot eat them together. He has to separate them by color. They have to be separated. They have to be in groups. He cannot wear mismatched socks.
Hmm.
He has to have a routine every morning. Anytime his routine is knocked off in the morning, he will have a bad day. So the routine thing, that's another thing I would say. That is very important in their
Yes, it is.
lives.
Yeah. I'll actually
Very.
add on that. Like the routine thingies, like when I was younger, I always had to have either airheads on my right side, and I used to have like Hot Wheels something on my other side. And I would always either watch Thomas the Train, or always watch Transformers every day before school and after school. Like I was big on that, especially like Hot Wheels. Always kept Hot Wheels with me even my pockets or just like I make shapes and stuff out of Hot Wheels. Like airheads, that was a big thing. I always used to wear hats. It could be like Elmo hat. It used to be like Cookie Monster. I used to wear hats. Then like the socks is like that. It has to be matching. It has to be same socks. It can't be one shorter. It can't be one longer. That's just how it is every day. If something was off like this, I would have like pretty much I'll have a bad day like your son like is having right now, or like I'll just say I'm just not doing it today. That's just how I've always been. Even like with Reese mom, which is my godmother, like this, every day before and after school, she'll come pick me up. We go get some airheads. We'll go get some Hot Wheels and like XYZ. That's all I'd say on that one. Like routine is definitely a must. I will say that. Even like I'm 23 now. Like I wake up and do the same thing. I brush my teeth. Make my bed up. After that, I pretty much well, like I have like sort of like a uniform, but every day I wear like black and something like that. Like clothes is black, like this. Mind you, it's black shirt every day, different black shirt, different black pants every day when I go from and to work. It's like a certain routine I have to follow, so like that. If that makes sense. It's like if something's off, I go back in house, retrace my steps, and I go from there. Now, when I say like the school system was, I was at one point I was in like the classes like with the kids like that, like disabilities like that too. But then like once I have gained like more like understand like conscious like this, I was with normal kids too, but also I didn't want to be labeled as that because I feel like when I was in there, not a lot of people know this, but when I was in there, like the teachers like that, they used to talk like a certain way to me. It was to the point like I never told my mom like that about it. It just like I just didn't feel like I didn't want to be labeled as that. But I'll definitely say keep doing like what you're doing, man, and just work on like this. And people's got to understand just because something's not a physical disability or it's like mental like this, you have to work for your kid, regardless if it's your friend, family like this. You have to keep constantly work on them. I know it might be tiresome or it might be like
It's definitely building my patience. I have never
Mm-hmm.
had this much patience in my life. When I tell you, I remember one time he had like an issue with like powder and he
Hmm.
played in the flour all the time. Like one time he played in the flour, he got it everywhere. I couldn't even get mad. I didn't whoop him. I just woosed out and I walked away. I was like, I can't, like, not right now. I can't. Like,
Yep.
it's sometimes like he does not know why he does what he does. He went through a phase where he cracked a whole case of eggs. He just cracked them on the floor. He didn't know why. He played in them. Like, it just, and then now he's at the stage where he has OCD. Everything has to be clean. Nothing can be on him. It cannot be
That's how I am
icky.
now. Yep.
Nothing can be dirty. So thank God
Hmm.
that he's like that because potty training became so easy. I
Hmm.
have a few friends like within the few groups I'm in. They have like 12-year-olds that are still not potty trained. Like for me, it was not easy, but like once he became like the OCD child, it became so easy. Like he didn't want to like mess up his clothes or like just anything of that nature. He is very picky. He does not eat any wet items, like no gravies, no dips, no sauces. Like he is very picky. And then like the term where we have like old school people in our families, I'm sure we all black, we know how it is.
Hmm.
Our people went by,
Yep.
if you don't eat, you're gonna starve.
Yep.
We cannot do that to our
Hmm.
autistic children because they will starve.
Hmm.
They will starve
Yeah.
themselves. You cannot tell
Definitely.
an autistic child if you don't eat it, you won't eat. They're not like us. We had to force it down. We had to eat because that was it. But
Yeah.
it's different for them. They will starve. They will starve for days if you don't feed them what they're used to eating.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So what I would just, give advice to anybody that would want any type of advice, just patience is the biggest thing.
Yes, it
Patience
is,
is
man.
so big. It's so big.
Mhm.
It's patience is for you and the child.
It
Patience is for
is.
your sanity. There have been plenty of times where um my son had a meltdown for hours one day, and it was because his rubber band wasn't on his braid, and I didn't have a clue until like the meltdown was almost over. And once I put the rubber band on his braid, he was like, "Yay!" and he stopped crying. Mind you, he was crying for hours. I could not figure it out, and it
Mhm.
was driving me nuts. Like I'm flipping out, and then when I finally figured it out and I put it on him, and it's like it was a breath of fresh air, but it's like, dude, really a rubber band? But
Yeah,
that
that's
Right.
was
how I
so
was.
big
I
to
used to wear
him.
like Scylla bands or like silly bands, and I used to have like this. All right, so when I was younger, I had like a seizure, just like disabilities like that. I had a seizure once, but I used to wear a seizure little bracelet like on my hand, like always. That always had to be on my wrist, regardless. Like that. If it wasn't on my wrist, it would be an issue. Just like rubber bands and silly bands, I used to have that on my wrist. If I had one or two on my wrist, it was a problem. I wouldn't like function right, or I wouldn't like do like certain things too. That makes sense. It's like certain things, like even like cars, like I said earlier, like Laffy Taffies. I hear my cane like that. I never eat them, but I always have them. It's certain things. If I didn't have like certain item or like this, I wouldn't do work. I wouldn't pay attention to nobody, or I wouldn't just like contact nobody like at all. I wouldn't even look your way like this. Is certain things that like I wouldn't say trigger me, but it's like certain things I have to have in order.
It kind of falls into the category of
Hmm.
routine, like I said earlier when I
Yep,
was
it
touching
is.
on the specifics of, um, you know, autism, and it kind of, I mean, I don't know if I'm right about this, but in a way, it makes it seem like OCD and autism are like distant cousins in a way.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. I'll give you that
'cause,
one.
yeah, there's
They definitely
some
go
like,
hand in hand because
Hmm.
yeah,
it's no like how like when we were little, if your parent made a mistake and threw your toy away and they told you the toy ran away or the toy,
Nope.
whatever, they could tell you
mm,
that story and you had to believe it. You cannot
Mm-mm.
tell an autistic child that. They're gonna
Nope.
lose their mind until you figure out what happened to whatever they had. And if it's not in the same spot it was in, they're gonna flip out.
Hmm.
Everything has to be the same. Like when I pick my son up off the bus, if I'm not picking him up from his exact stop, he will not get off the bus. I had to pick him up from a different spot because of like some complications with the bus. I literally had to pry him off the bus because he didn't believe I was at the end of the bus waiting on him. They're like, Christian, your mom is here. And he's looking around and he's like, no. He kept telling him, like, no, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Like, I'm staying on the bus. Like he knew something was fishy, but like I literally had to talk him down off the bus. Like it's very specific, but I'm glad that like he pays attention to his surroundings, The boy is insanely genius. Insanely genius. I also pay attention to the fact that he watches a lot of stuff in other languages. I need him not to, because I can't learn no other languages. He be listening to like Chinese, Japanese. I can't learn no other languages. I cannot keep up. So I try to like keep him on English, but like even his teachers are like, I think he want to know another language. And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm trying to keep up with English. Like
It's
I
just
can't
like
learn another language.
somebody in the chat said earlier. Brilliant, y'all. We got somebody backstage who this is Tyrell's mom. That we're gonna bring up, and she's gonna, talk to us and give
Oh
us
yay.
on being,
good.
a parent of a autistic child. So I'm gonna bring
Thank you, Barbara.
bring Mika up.
She
Oh,
left.
she left. We'll bring her back. She'll be back.
Yeah,
But
she
I
got
just thought it'd be dope to get a perspective of, from a parent. Oh, here she is.
Yes.
Hey everyone, how are you?
What's going on?
Hi, hi.
Hey. So I was sitting back here listening to everything, and I want to say it is all correct. It's a journey, but I would
Yeah.
say for me, because I didn't just have Tyrell, I had him, his twin, and another sibling. Um, I want to say every time I wanted to, mind you, let me say this. I was 21 with 3 children. So, I was a baby. Thank God I had my circle, I had my friends, I had Shereese's mom, CJ, of course. But I would say we all have to have our village, our people. Um, Patience is definitely the key to it. I've learned so much from my children, but especially Tyrell. When I feel like giving up, I think about my son. I think about him being bullied. I think about where he started. I think about the doctors telling me he wouldn't walk, talk, any of those things. Like they weren't going to be here. A, he was born early at 27 weeks, but he was my 2 pound baby. His twin was 1. So it was a lot that went into this. I was a single parent, no help from dad or any of his family, anything like that. But I always said, these are my kids. These are for me. We got to get past that as parents, period. Even if you're a single mom, don't worry about it. You had that baby for
Yeah,
years.
I am. So
And
I have my brother,
and
but
sometimes
yeah.
people, they'll be like, you know what? The father's not here. I'm doing this. It's okay because God got you. As long as you got you, God got you. But I've learned so much from him. He is 1/3 of my strength. He's taught me patience. He's taught me things about myself that I didn't even know I could do. And I do it because of him, for them. And I want to say this: if your son or your child has autism and they want to cling to a certain person, don't be upset. Don't feel like they don't love you. Don't feel like they're neglecting you, but they have to have their person. Like he just told y'all, he has a room at Shereese's mom's house. That room has been there, but there were months, days, years that my son stayed with her every day. I would see him like I was the babysitter, or she would say, "Hey, I'm going to get his haircut. Could you take him?" Other than that, Tyrell had to have her. Shereese can tell you, he could be on one side of the mall and he would scream. It wasn't because he didn't love me. It wasn't because I did anything to him, but she was like his blanket, his comfort zone. So you got to let them have that. Talk to them normal. I would honestly say you might have to do things a little bit differently, like he said, but you got to talk to them normal, include them, and make them feel like everyone else. That I think helps because Sharice babysat him and his sisters and numerous other kids. Sharice was like that person, her and CJ, but he wanted to be treated normal. So that's what I think helps him be like, you know what? He actually went to the teachers and stuff himself and said, I don't want to be labeled as this. So I
Yeah, I
actually asked,
told him that
they just have
before.
a 504 just in case he need help.
Yeah, even like when high school, college
Even
like this, I always tell my teachers like this, hey, I'm just like, hey, I'm autistic like this. I might pick up things differently, or I might learn differently. But if you have any questions, come to me directly, and then I reach out to my mom or my godmother like that. That's why I
yeah,
normally do, like anytime, like school wise or teachers or college like this. If there's anything you want me to know, like about myself or anything I can improve, like just let me know.
and don't get me wrong, he's came a long way. Like he said, he has a license. He has a good job working for a big car company. He does what he loves, which is building cars and everything. But he still needs those help and things. Like his sister had him hold a phone for her the other day so she can do her makeup. and his hand was moving. And she was getting frustrated at him. This is his older sister. And I said, Autumn, he still has cognitive skills. That's why he doesn't hold things in his hand, not even his phone, because his hand will constantly move.
Yeah,
So
it's a
things
certain
that
way I hold things.
deals with to this day, but whatever. But also, I want to let people know here in Maryland, I'm not sure about any other state, but I do believe this past October they passed a law, which me and him are going to go to the NBA. They have a symbol that looks like a butterfly. It's not just for autistic children, but it came, I think, from something that happened to someone that was autistic. But they're going to have a symbol that they can have on their license. You have to go get it, put on there, and when the police look it up, they can see whatever disability this person has. So he's going to do it for autism. I'm going to do it for my hearing impairment. And, just so that, because I always worry about him dealing with cops or other things like that. I worry about him. So, of course, I have my little finder. I let him do his thing. But for the most part, just support them, learn them. And if you don't know how to talk to them, I used to always say, when I used to be like, how does he do? I used to be like, hey, can you show me how to do that? And then he would just sit down and he would show me, so I would understand how to do things his way.
A funny moment. Remember when he
Hold on, his sister wanted to say something.
It was a funny moment. Like, it wasn't funny, but like, it was just, that night was just hilarious. Y'all, he had dropped all of his pennies. Like, he had a whole jar of pennies. And at like 9 p.m. outside of his godmother's house. And when I say he made us pick them all up, but he was sitting there counting each one because they had to be a certain number. A date on the thing.
Yeah, it's a certain date, like from like it was 1930s to
and then like
to
even like right now,
1990s.
I went in his room not too long ago. I saw this piece to a car, and I'm so confused. Like, why do you got this piece of a car? But like my mother said, he loves what he do, so he got to in his room sitting down. It's like to an old, what is it, Tyrell? Like to an old vehicle, and it just sitting in his room.
It's
And
to
I'm
like a
still not
2018
understanding why is
it's
it in his
Trailblazer,
room. But that's
2021
my
Trailblazer.
brother, and I support him.
Yeah. Because I used to have like sway bars. I used to have like all this different like stuff in my room. I had to get rid of some of the stuff, but it's just stuff that I either like found interesting or like I work on. It's just like, dang, look at this. I did this today or did this today type of deal. It's just something I always found fascinating. It'd be weird, but it's just something like, hey, I just want to have that at the moment.
But yeah, I just want to thank y'all for everything. But like he said, and y'all already said it's patience. And he's helping me in my work field and deal with, like he said, deal with people all over. It doesn't hurt to be kind, because everybody's going through something. That's what we need more. Learn how to love more and be kind more. Learn somebody. And I really appreciate y'all. I was tearing up when I first heard y'all introducing, and CJ, you talking about autism, and that's because it means something so much to me that I was like, hey, this is cool. When y'all asked earlier, I said, sure, Carl, I'm pretty sure he'll want to do this.
Yeah, because they called me like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely, what?
It's tears of joy, but I've never heard Tyrell's story. So I want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Because for the most part, I've just been quiet, just like pretty much I've always been to myself. That makes sense. But I do have like friends also. I would say the biggest thing that helped me was definitely track and field. Because in school sports, that definitely like made me like branch on, like know a lot of people like from social like that. Because beforehand, I used to be quiet, say to myself, doing sports actually helped me improve my social skills. And also like in like school, if there's a certain topic, I always like that. I always love to present. Like even like business class, I didn't really like business that much. I was always the first or second person that always presented. The only reason why I did that because like, why not? And it's like I might know the topic, I might not, but I just did it also because of my grade, and it's like something, I'm gonna go out the way. That's always something I always like to do. But if it's a certain topic, I would just talk forever, like ever type of this. But I am like a social person now, but I do like helping people. I will say that. But one big thing I would say, just work with them like I said, everybody said, but also just be that reason. Give them like, hope. And, just because someone does this a certain way or someone like build this chair, like think this way, they might think something differently, totally different, like towards you, like how you work on something or how you do this. As long as you work with them and just remain calm, everything be good. And just don't treat them as a label or like less than yourself. That's all I'll say about that.
Well,
But
thank
if y'all
you
have
so
any other questions, anything, let me know.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming up and sharing with us, Rel. Thank you, Mika, for
Thank
giving us
y'all.
your perspective from a mom's view.
Yep. All right, Tyrell, Mika, we appreciate y'all. And if y'all don't mind, y'all can just hang out in the chat.
Okay.
You know, at the end of the show.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll stay in the chat. I just gotta charge my computer real quick.
All right, cool. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, peace.
Thank you. Bye, Newt.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's Tyrell and Mika, his mom. I just think it's super dope, man. Like, because like we both said, we pretty much watched him grow into the man that he is now.
I was there when he was in the tummy.
Yep. So it's pretty dope.
Hey, Miss Chris.
Pretty dope. Hey, Miss Chris.
Miss Chris, I believe you are the one who told us that this is Autism Awareness Month.
I believe so.
I believe so. So if we are correct, thank you.
Yep. We lost Barb, but hopefully she'll come back up.
Yes, I believe she's getting her son settled.
Yeah.
AJ said.
So
hopefully she'll come back.
While she's doing that, y'all, I wanted to try something different.
Yeah, she is.
But oh shit, yep.
So yeah, it was
Yep, it was Miss Chris. So I wanted to try something different, y'all, with this being a show and all that stuff. I just wanted to try something different and just do like a little brief commercial break in a way. And you know, y'all will see it's quick. It's not long. Hopefully we'll get Barb back up here and anybody else that want to come up and talk about this dope conversation, you know, be a part of this dope conversation. So I'm gonna play this commercial and then we're gonna come back and then I'm gonna touch on some stats and I got a couple star comments that we want to read as well. All right, so y'all check this out.
Every single moment got a reason why. When the world feels heavy and the nights feel long, just come to the den and sing me. Welcome to the den where the love don't end, where the conversations turn strangers into friends. Ooh, yeah, yeah. And every single voice got a place to begin. With CJ and Shereese bringing the vibe tonight, talking truth, keeping everything bright. When the world outside feels cold again, back in. Don't run straight again. Welcome to the den. To Deborah's a den. Wear the crown.
To the people in the streets, giving love to the city. Yeah, we practice what we preach. From the kids to the fam, yeah, we do it with a purpose. When you join, you're part of something bigger on the surface.
It's more than a membership, it's a movement. Oh man, we're giving back, yeah, we do this. Join the den, don't wait no more. Love and blessings at the core.
CJ and Shereese, we built this strong.
And with you right here, we can't go wrong.
Sorry. Shout outs again to DT Cruiser becoming a member tonight and all of our members that joined so far with our memberships. We definitely appreciate the support. And anybody that doesn't know, the money that we get from these memberships are going right into the community pot. So all the donations, I mean, every time you join a membership, it's a donation and it's going towards the our community work. So thank you to anybody that has joined up until this point and anybody that's going to join in the future. We appreciate it. Absolutely. All right. Let me touch on these star comments real quick.
We ain't famous, AJ.
Huh?
I'd say we ain't famous, AJ.
Right. Talking about, oh, y'all famous enough for commercials, huh? So Tag said occupational therapists in school can help with behavior strategies, etc. Also, if you have a good one. I've heard that
Yeah.
occupational therapists are very important in schools. I've heard about them.
Mm.
I know when my baby lose something, everything got to stop until he finds it. And man, we trying to
Man,
tell y'all that's exactly how Tyrell was.
it used to be bad.
It was. It really
But we
was.
understood it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it took some time to
Yeah.
understand it. Not gonna lie, but like they say, patience.
Right. Yep. All right, y'all. And Barb is back, and we're gonna bring her up. Sorry, hold on. Let me get myself together. All right, there we go. Hey, Barb.
Hey, hi.
Oh
Hi. Okay, so my son was having a little hiccup or whatever.
no, we understand. It's okay.
I honestly I had left for nothing because I went out there and my daughter was like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Okay, my bad." But so with my son, um, I really appreciate you guys. You said is your godson or your god brother?
God, brother.
Tyrell? Yes, I appreciate his insight because I get discouraged a lot because I wonder how my son is gonna be when he get older. I don't know if many moms do think about it. I do think about it. I'm not the type of parent that's gonna kick my children out when they turn 18, but I also would like to know if they're ever gonna be able to exist in society.
Mm,
It's very discouraging to think about, but it's also rewarding because it's like you have time. You have time, you have I and a village is very important, which I don't have much of a village. I just have me. So with that being said, my brother being so far, how he is, he's always been all I had. And when I say that, I mean that. Him being so far away, he is my emotional support, like mentally, physically, but like physically, like I'm all my children have. So being his support, like I sometimes get discouraged thinking that maybe he does need a male dominance in his life.
mm,
Some boys need a man. I don't care what people say. People like to say, it doesn't take away from the mother that you are. Some
right.
boys just need men. Like for him to be potty trained, his grandpa had to step in. I didn't do
Right.
that on my own. I still like can't figure out how to tell him to stand up. I just be like, stand up and be. I don't know, I don't know how that go. So it's just stuff I feel like is for men. So I feel like the the village you have has a lot to do with it, also with the patient. If you don't have that village, please like go to like the groups, the meetups, the mom groups, the please meet up with common people who are also going through what you are going through because you never know who you have. I've had plenty of meltdowns and I've been through plenty of depressions because of this. I've asked myself why me, I've asked why my son, I've asked did I do anything wrong during my pregnancy. Me having an ADHD daughter and an autistic child, it did discourage me. And then when I had my third child, she came out and there was nothing completely wrong with her, it still wasn't a breather for me because it's like that don't make me feel better. Because still it questions you. It's like, but I have so many friends and colleagues from all over that have autistic children and it has never run in their family. So it made me start looking into like the shots that these children get, like the formula, the infant meal, like just everything. Like I think it has a lot to do with it. And a lot of people can't even go too deep into depth of that conversation because it goes so deep.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Because then you get into governmental stuff and all that stuff. So it's hard to go into that type of conversation, but that's
absolutely.
really what it is. We all don't have the same baby daddy. So it got to be something.
Right. You
So
are
I'm just
absolutely
being logical about it. So I don't give my children a lot of shots unless they're absolutely they have to have them because with them going to school they have to have certain shots.
right.
But I do my research on all shots. My children has never had a flu shot. I don't like that. I don't like that they got to be completely healthy to get the shot and then they got to get completely sick after they get the shot. I don't like that. I don't agree with it. Same thing with the COVID shot. Don't like that. You can't have COVID for this amount of time, but you also can't, you get the shot and then you get COVID symptoms. It's just too much.
Mm,
Yeah.
So, that's another thing I would tell parents, just pay attention to what you're giving your child. You don't have to get them everything they tell you to.
right.
I was supposed to put my daughter who was ADHD on medicine and I turned it down.
Mm,
I know people who have put their children on medicine. I'm not against it. I don't agree with it for mine.
Right.
right.
So it depends if you have multiple children in the home with these illnesses. I have a friend who has three autistic children. I don't know how she's alive. I don't know.
Mm,
But she's alive, she's thriving, she's maintaining, and she's living. And she does it with grace, at least in front of my eyes.
right.
Right.
So the support system, the village, the just the everything, like and then take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I went almost a year without taking care of myself, not getting my hair done, not doing anything for myself, not taking time. Like I literally just started recently taking my health serious. I have to get surgery on my head and I'm very scared to get it because I have like a cyst on my head. So I have to get surgery to get it removed. So with that being said, me not having a village is scary. I have to be in a hospital for days. It's just all type of stuff you have to think about. And this is things like you have to take into consideration. You have to be healthy as possible, not only for yourself, but for your children.
Yeah.
So with having an autistic child, listen, it could take you there.
Oh yeah.
So it has a lot of ups, but it also has its downs.
Right.
So I need people to know that while they are geniuses, they are a handful.
Mm.
I'm not sure if y'all think it's like a walk in the park once they get their little like no, we constantly learn and they constantly learning too. So it's like having a kid with like terrible tools forever, if
Right.
that makes sense, you know?
We got them
So
up here.
Yeah.
yeah. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up? Can everybody hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I am extremely grateful for this episode. When y'all first advertised it, I hit Shereese like I absolutely want to be a part of this. I hit Barbara, but she was, parenting,
Yeah.
and I literally text her again to remind her today, like 30 minutes before y'all started. She was like, "Damn, 30 minutes." I was like, "Yeah, you with me? Like I hop up there with you." But I am grateful for her being here
Oh,
with me,
thank you.
sharing her story. I always tell Barbara this, but I am extremely proud of her. Like, proud is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew the things that she does as a mother, like it is absolutely amazing. And she's my baby sister. So I've seen all of my older sisters parent, but
Right.
I've never seen a parent like her.
Mm.
Like, she has the parental skills of grandmothers.
Right.
Wow.
Like, I've never, and you know me, y'all know me, I have no patience for nobody besides children, sickly, and the disabled.
Right.
And the elderly, like I have no patience. The amount of patience that she has for her children, and then like the way that she spreads knowledge and awareness, like she can tell me how to parent them if anything happens. Like she hit me up and she was like, if anything happened, I know you got them. This comes with, you have to learn their eating habits, you have to learn their behavioral skills, you have to learn like their routines, you have to learn everything. It's not just, hey, here go my kids. Is,
Yeah.
hey, this here come your family. You gotta, this is another job you got. You know what I'm saying? So I'm extremely proud of her. And I always tell her this. This is amazing to see, and I hate that I'm so far away from it because I absolutely, and she knows this, I would be there
Right.
physically all day, every day if I could. Like when she had her first child, I flew home. I was still in uniform and everything. I didn't even get changed. I was holding Harmony for the longest. She didn't even wake up. That's what pissed me off because I couldn't look into her
N-
eyes and see her. Stay
Newborn
asleep
sleep all day. He does not understand that.
for the longest time, and it made us so mad. But and she was still in pictures. She know I hate pictures. Like, me and Harmony's only pictures are the ones that Barbara stole, and I'm in uniform, caught off guard, looking crazy. But those were the times that I cherished. And then how she brought Christian along,
Mm.
it was low key shady because no one knew that she was pregnant. I was in culinary school and we had exams, we had finals, so we prepping like our final dishes or whatever. And she blowing up my phone, blowing up my phone. So I step out like, who died? She showed me. She was FaceTiming back to back, so I know it was something urgent. So she flips the camera around. She laid up in a hospital bed and she shows me Christian. So in my head, I'm thinking like she ain't that reckless. She would never do some shit like that, right? So in my head, I'm like, I know damn well this ain't yours. So I'm like, who baby is that? So she was like, meet your new nephew. So I'm thinking it's one of my brothers, dumbasses. So I'm like, who baby is that? So she was like, that's me. And I tell you, I said, fuck them finals. I left that motherfucker. I was out. We not no celebrities. We can't just push babies out and not let nobody know. We gotta prepare for this shit.
Oh
Like,
my God.
I've I've always wanted like that relationship with them. It's times where her oldest, Harmony, she hold down the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
Harmony run that shit. She'll sit the phone down on FaceTime and they go about their day. I'm just somewhere off in the cut and she talking to me every now and then. She check in. But that's she is gonna be an amazing young lady too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Barbara is doing the damn thing when it comes to them kids, and I can't be more proud of her. And again, I am grateful that she got up here and shared her story. I also want to touch on what it's like dealing with siblings who
So
have
Mm-hmm.
the
just a quick
same.
question: can we show children on here?
Of course.
Okay, because I know certain apps don't let you show children. This is my son.
Hi, handsome.
There he is. Don't
Well,
try
This
to
is
act
my
shy.
son.
Don't be acting shy. Look at this camera.
He does
like
not
twins.
like cameras at all.
Yes,
Thank
he did
you.
earlier, and I'm like, at least he's smiling because we don't like the camera. So I was like, at least he's
Right.
smiling, look handsome self.
Getting better. It's getting better. Getting better. Like
That's
the haircut thing, I needed a man for that. I needed a man for that. I didn't have no business in that barbershop. I needed a man for that.
You got this. You are doing awesome.
yes, you are.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. Yes. And this
No,
this this was definitely one of those episodes where we wanted something different. Like we've never this is our first time touching on autism.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we've touched on a lot of subjects and had a lot of conversations on this show. But with it being, we just found out that it was Autism Awareness Month. So
Mhm.
only right that we dedicated a show to this. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, go ahead, AJ. I'm sorry.
no, I just wanted to touch on I guess a different conversation where it's like being a sibling of a parent that the sibling of someone who has a child that's on the spectrum and what that conversation is like. Um, a lot of people before there was all of this knowledge and awareness, they considered that like a real disability. Like some old school people even they still call it like being slow or something like that, like a mental disability. But we learned that it's not that. It's very high functioning people that are on the spectrum that we all are aware of. So, having those conversations initially were difficult because there was a lack of awareness.
Mm.
But now that it's more common and it's easier to diagnose
Hmm.
and kind of treat in a way, um, it's very different now. The conversation that we had about Christian 7 years ago versus today is very different. I have another nephew. He's I don't know what the term would be, but he's not nonverbal. He's verbal in a sense, but he's not nonverbal.
You
Um,
talking about Jamez?
yes,
Okay, so that's where it falls into the different spectrums. There are three different spectrums. So Christian is will be the most extreme. He's nonverbal. He's very like physical. He's angry a little bit. He is the most extreme. Jamez would be either the second tier or the third tier. He's partially verbal and he's very aware of everything he does, and he's coherent in life. So I think he would be maybe the third spectrum. I could ask to confirm, but he's kind of like Tyrell. So yeah.
yeah, because Jamez also. Wait, Barbara, your audio went out.
Yeah, it's gonna go in and out.
My bad. But he talks to me, and I just bought him a Sonic cup. He's very into drawing, and he's on his Sonic phase right now, so he talks. But when I'm around him, and like when we went to Shotty wedding, um, he doesn't do the physical touch either. Only with Shotty, my older sister. Like he's only affectionate with his mom, and that's it. And I noticed that Christian isn't affectionate with anybody with besides it seemed like only Harmony. So the
Yeah.
conversations have been very different. Even with, conversations with Barbara versus my older sister, who also has a child on the spectrum, like the conversations are very different, and it's still, you learn something every time. I'm surprised that Christian got up there on that camera and was still smiling like
Oh
that.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that's new.
I
Which
had
That's because
I had 30 seconds. Thirty
it's the social
seconds.
thing.
So
That's
yeah.
why he know about the social thing. That's why he wanted
nah,
to see
I'm
that
glad.
crazy dude that I heard.
Listen, y'all should have seen him when I called his name. I said Christian. He looked up at me like, I know you ain't interrupting my tablet time. Like, just 30
I was
seconds of your time, big dog. That's all I
I was
need.
grateful for the little video that I just got, and I was like, oh, at least he's smiling. That's plus for me.
Yeah, because he got a haircut earlier and they took so much hair off his head because I was gonna get him like a taper, but the kids get their hair and they do the little sponge thing. But he just when the guy started picking it, he just was freaking out. I'm like, just cut it off. Just I'm not doing that. Cut it off.
Yeah,
And that's the first time I've ever cut all of his hair off because he went from having hair down his back to like so it was a journey, but for a while he liked his braids. He liked shaking them. He liked to touch them, so I wouldn't take them out. But the older he got, the more he expressed to me like, "This hurt. I don't want this here." So I had to listen to him, and I had to let him cut it. I was very afraid because he does not like loud noises. Anything loud, he gets overstimulated. Like so, I knew the clippers by his ear would be a thing, which it was. Like his first haircut, he was flipping out every time the clippers got near his ear, like he like moved and he was jerking, like he didn't like it. And of course, like everybody knows when you're getting your haircut, like you're gonna feel like the nicks and stuff of getting like the hairline and just the haircut or whatever. So this time like he was way more calmer. Like once he got like that big old heap of hair off his head and he got onto the bottom layer of his head and he was cutting, like he was just sitting there like when we got there, he jumped up in a chair, he knew what to do, he put the cape on, like it's getting easier. So with me, I just have to stop being scared and just get him basically into more routine. So, I feel discouraged sometimes. I feel like I shouldn't have to be his mom and dad, but I don't have a choice, and it just is what it is. I can't dwell in the past. I can't co-parent with somebody who doesn't want to be a parent at all. And sometimes that's what the situation is. People think, it's a toxic situation. No, sometimes the other person just doesn't want to be a parent. So you have to step up and just do what you got to do.
right, right.
So, much respect to all the single parents, much respect to all the parents doing it together because it's hard together, it's hard apart. It's hard for
Yeah,
anybody. Much respect to grandparents that have to take over. A lot of respect to parents who have children who are out of control and can't do anything about it, but love on them.
right.
Everybody is not okay with turning their children over to the system. It's not a thing to recommend it to people. It's offensive. I don't know if people think that's a good thing to tell people, but it's very offensive. Um, I think patience does come a long way, but if they get to a certain amount, I think to have help come in the home and help you navigate versus just sending them off to a facility works out way better. Children are way more comfortable in their comfort zone in their home where their routine is. And I noticed that, like, if my son is too overwhelmed in school, I'll let him take a day or two off sometimes. Sometimes it's a lot to have to get up at 6 in the morning every day and go to school. We get overwhelmed and have to get up for work every day. We are overwhelmed. We're paying bills. Like these kids are overwhelmed. They have to be in school all day, coexist with other kids. They gotta eat at a certain time. When they're hungry, they can't go to the refrigerator and eat. Like you never know how these kids feel. And I'm starting to understand why kids get out of school so hungry. If they eating at 10 o'clock in the morning, they getting out at 4 o'clock. They're hungry because it's been 6 hours.
Yep.
Hmm.
So I started to pay attention to a lot of stuff because when I was little, I was raised. My brother would tell you we were raised together in my grandma's household where it's ten other children. She can't focus on all of us at once, and she's older, so it's like I make my children lunches every day. Sometimes I can't afford to, but I make it work. So with that being said, I didn't get lunches as a kid ever. I never got sent to school with no lunches. Like every day, each kid has a lunch. Uniforms are out. They have their own like independence where they can get up, put their uniform on, go in the bathroom, brush their teeth. They got their own rooms. Like this is a luxury I didn't have growing up. So that is something I'm trying to keep going for them because kids don't understand when you raised by your grandma, it's a blessing because you got that love from grandma. But like you wanted to be raised by your parents. Everybody else had their parents. You were in school, somebody had their mama, their daddy, whatever the case. So that's another thing for kids, like to just show up and be there at all the little award ceremonies, like everything you can be at. You will be surprised. So like for me, like having three different children with three different like fields and whatever else, it is hard because it's like I have to juggle myself. It's very hard, but sometimes like so my relief is so y'all don't make fun of me, but my relief is like the Sudoku puzzles. Like I
Okay,
have books. Listen, I have books and books and books and books. So that helps me, of course, prayer, God, everything like that helps. Like I am somebody that sometimes I don't like to be bothered. I don't want to talk to nobody. I need that peace. I need that quiet. I need that time.
it's
And that's when the puzzles come in, because I don't want to you don't want to have your phone in your hand all the time. We too old to be having these phones glued to our eyeballs without it affecting our health.
I get it.
So I'm learning that. I'm from a generation where I'm a 90s baby. We didn't have phones when we was little. We started getting them when we became teenagers and stuff, and we got happy. We got geeks. So now we a little addicted.
I,
We had Game Boys. We had, PlayStations. We had, we ain't have all this stuff they got. We couldn't play music while we was playing the game. PlayStation 3 came out, we was happy as heck.
I
That's a
So man, listen, so I don't take for granted the technology, but I feel like it moved too fast. They
yeah.
didn't get the chance to like enjoy like we did. They don't get a chance to go outside no more because kids are getting kidnapped. My
Mhm.
daughter went through a situation where she used somebody's lip gloss, and you can't even do that no more because it could get you sick or whatever. You never know what's going on with the person.
Yep.
So
No,
it's hard. They are stripped from what we had. We
yep.
cannot raise them the same.
That's a fact. You're right. Everything you're saying is facts. Everything
Man,
you're saying is facts. It's
listen,
unfortunate, but it's the reality. You know,
definitely is. And I'm not sure how old y'all children are, but I don't have teenagers yet. But the whole part of kids like from the 10 to 12 range, ain't nobody tell me about that. Y'all could have said something. Y'all just said something about preteen, and then y'all said terrible twos, but y'all ain't say nothing about that 10 to 12 range. Y'all ain't say nothing. Y'all are cold.
our daughter is 17,
yeah.
but
Mm.
it's gonna get a little worse, but then it's gonna get better.
So Barbara, let me tell you,
Sorry, Stink, I love you.
One
Cause you
thing
gotta
about
do it when they not around, man. Shoot.
one thing though.
Shut up.
Sorry, y'all. That's a fire truck going by. But one thing that I will say though, from our experience with helping, pretty much raise Tyrell, um, is that what I saw when it came to him was as they grow, as the years go by, you start to see something extraordinary because they begin to grow into who they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You see it at the earliest stages, of course, but as they get older and you start seeing the things that they're into, the things that they're into now are going to change once they get into their teenage years.
Hmm.
He has tablet time now. Then you're going to see something else when he turns 13, 14.
Hmm.
And it's going to, and then eventually, hate to say it, the girls are going to come into play. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like keeping it a buck, like keeping it, just looking into the future, you're going to see different things, but at the same time, it's going to be dope because you're seeing him grow. You're seeing her,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, into the person that they're going to be, into the dope adult that they're going to eventually be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we all know that we always say what the motto we always tell these kids is you can be anything you want to be. And when we say that to kids, autistic kids fit in that mold as well. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? They're people just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? They're brilliant.
My son's doctor, one of my son's doctors is autistic, and I was just amazed to find that out. Like, oh my God, I was amazed. I had so many questions for him. Like, he didn't mind either. I was apologizing. I was so apologetic, but I had so many questions. He was literally the doctor at one of the major hospitals here, Children's Hospital. Like, it was insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I read something earlier, when I was doing my research that there's been cases where people didn't find out that they were autistic until they became an adult because
Yep.
they didn't have the resources, they didn't have the parents, or they didn't have the the leadership that was leading them to be able to help them realize that they was autistic. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we got black old school people where they like ain't nothing wrong with that child, or
Right,
they
right.
term for us back in the day if we was any type of show, any type of anything of abnormality was
Mhm.
um they a little off. That was their word. They
That's
a little
it.
off, or that baby special. That was their words. That
Mhm.
baby a little off, or that baby special. They never went and got the kid tested. They just knew something was wrong with them. Like it just didn't make sense.
Yep.
Hey,
That's, and
Latasha.
that's it's the truth though. It's the truth. And now, but today, I mean, what I've come to realize is that autism is very, very common.
Yeah,
It's very common, and it's I don't think it's talked about enough. Me personally,
yeah.
and it's really not talked about enough.
And a lot of people that are, autistic are qualified as that was qualified as like the black sheep of your family. People that just didn't want to be bothered or didn't, wasn't for the BS, didn't care to sit around for drama or just anything. And they'd be like, oh yeah, that's just the black sheep. Like that person is probably autistic and disoriented from life and you don't even know. Like
That's a fact.
you would never know.
You
And
would
I'm
never.
learning that as an adult because I sometimes joke like, I wonder if I'm autistic because I get overwhelmed and I don't want to be around a whole lot of people. I don't like going to the grocery store if it's too many people. I don't like going
Hmm.
out and I don't like going out from like 4 to like 6 to traffic to clear it up. Like I'm like that. I don't like going to the grocery store when there's a whole bunch of people there. I don't like going to Walmart with too many people there. I don't like shopping in long lines. I don't like a whole lot of noise. I said, shoot, I might have need to get me tested. I
Right.
got a high school diploma and everything, and I've been to college. That means nothing. So I'm like, shoot, if that don't mean nothing, anybody could be autistic. Who knows?
That's a fact. I mean, because at the end of the day, something else that I read was that, and this, I mean, it's kind of known, but autism, autistic people are all different, and there are different levels of autism as well.
Mm,
Like you're saying, you had, you've had instances where you felt like it was hard, like it was hard for you. You didn't know what to do with the whole rubber band situation. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying, and all of that. Like, but just imagine that there's somebody out there that's going through it 10 times worse than you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Because all autistic individuals are different, and I
yeah,
say that word individual with parentheses and exclamation marks around it because they are
hmm
all individuals. They are not the same at all. People hear autism and think, oh, they're all the same people. They all autistic people all act the same, and that's not true.
hmm
Not true. They're all individuals. I wanted to ask you something real quick, Barbara, as far as um your son.
hmm
I know you said loud sounds with the Clippers earlier. So
hmm
how does he deal with like bright lights or too many voices in one room and stuff like that? Does he react to stuff like that?
Bright lights, I don't think it's ever been an issue for him. He's never been like scared of fireworks or nothing like that. But like noise, like oh no, he's always been like very keen on like not a lot of noise. If it's a lot of noise, he's gonna freak out. Like when I say freak
Okay.
out, it's not like like I tell people all the time with autistic children, it's an absolute need to know the difference between a meltdown and a tantrum. A meltdown they cannot control. A
Mm,
tantrum they can control because the moment you realize it's a tantrum or a tantrum you can correct almost immediately, especially if
right.
you're the child's mother.
Mm,
You can almost immediately nip that in the bud. But a meltdown, no, you can absolutely try to nip it in the bud, but you're gonna be having a meltdown with him if you think you're gonna disrupt it and he's not gonna get what he wants. So with that
mm,
being said, noises like sometimes for instance his teachers, if they're having like a assembly or something like that, they'll take him to the sensory room where there's no almost anybody in there because they know like he can't take all the noise. If it's too much noise, he'll flip out, he'll start crying, he'll cover his ears, he'll cry. He's not gonna get physical where he's gonna harm anybody at the moment, but again, nobody wants to see a child crying and covering their ears. So if it's too much noise, they know to take them to the sensory room and um, what's the word I want to say? Separate him from the rest of the school or just the rest of the class or just whatever because like I said he's in a mic classroom. It's
mm,
students with all type of illnesses in his classroom, so you can have another student having a meltdown and it'll cause him to have a meltdown. So
right.
before that can happen they will remove that student and take them to the sensory room or just whatever the case. So with that being said, just noises is just I just stay away from that type of stuff with him because I don't want his peace disturbed. You
Right.
know, I don't think anybody want their peace disturbed. And if the one thing is what he asking for is like, it don't got to be peace and quiet because he don't care for peace and quiet. He listens to his tablet too, but it don't have to be loud. Like it don't have to be a whole lot of like,
Mhm.
you know. So I try to respect him. I try to pay attention to him because again, he's nonverbal. So it's not like he can tell me a lot of things. Like with the whole potty training thing, imagine potty training a child that it can't tell you when they gotta go pee.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but I got through it. Like it got to the point where I just had to pay attention to him. I would tell him, like, you know, grab yourself if you gotta pee, you know, or if you gotta poop, just go. Like, don't tell nobody, just go. Like it got to the point where I
Right.
just started telling him, like, just go. Don't tell me no more. Just go. Like
Yeah.
I can't defer when you gotta pee because I tried to put him on a schedule, but he got to the point where he was starting to hold it. Like one day he went the whole day without doing anything. I'm like, dude, how did you do that?
Yeah.
So they I don't know, like that boy, he amazes me. I learn a lot from him just daily. I learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
He's walking around here taking my remotes apart. That was another thing I heard Tyrell saying, taking stuff apart, taking
Yeah.
the remotes apart. He done broke at least 250 tablets. He's 8 years old. So from at least the age of 2 to 8, he's at least been through over 200 tablets. From breaking the screen to getting in the tub with him, getting in the pool with him, um, breaking the
Yeah.
charger ports, you name it. And
Yeah.
yes, of course, I bought him another one after every time, but it's like everybody like, oh, I would have punished him. I wouldn't have bought another one. Who? Not my piece. I ain't gonna he ain't gonna cost me my piece because you done broke this tablet. You know, like this is how we get our peace and quiet. I know it probably sound like because people be like, you know, autistic kids or kids don't need a lot of screen time. My son is in school 8 hours a day. He get out of school at 4 o'clock. He is more than able to get a couple hours of screen time. He got to come home from school, eat, get in the tub, you know, do what he got to do. He don't get his tablet till at least 5, 6 o'clock. It's about
Right.
to be 9 o'clock. They about to go to bed. He done had it for 3 hours. That's not bad for me.
Right.
So I try
Right.
to let him have his little freedom because you done did what I asked you to do. You done took your clothes off. You done washed your butts. You done did your little homework. Cause he don't get hard homework. You know, he get a few pages. I let him do a few problems a day.
Right.
That you did what I asked you to do. That's your treat. You know, I'm not like that. I get it. It's probably not the most educational thing, but he love YouTube Kids. YouTube Kids is nothing but educational, so I don't mind that.
That's a fact.
You know what works best for you and
Hmm.
your household, your son. So whatever anybody else thinks, it's none of their damn business.
Exactly.
It's all about balance, honestly. Like
Right.
if you worry about what people do and their opinions on, well, if it was me, I would, you know, and that's why it's not you. That's why God trusted it not to be you because you obviously don't know what you're doing and you wouldn't know what to do.
Exactly. You wouldn't
Exactly.
have the patience.
Yeah. So like I don't know if y'all saw the video of the lady, her son was like hitting her.
I
It was
remember
an
that.
older woman, yeah. And I saw so many people like, oh, I would have did this, I would have did that, I would have did this, I would have did that. And I was agreeing with them to a certain extent because I just feel like my son know better. I feel like some
Yeah.
kids are just born with an instinct. You don't hit your mama, you don't hit your daddy, you don't harm your mom, you don't harm your dad. Now some kids, I guess either ain't born with that instinct or they just ignore the instinct. But me knowing my child, I just know that maybe he would break a window, but it wouldn't be on purpose. It wouldn't be like intentional, and he ain't finna chase me through no house. I'm telling you that now. So, with that being said, I could not imagine being in that situation, but I also could not imagine me just being like, I'm sending him off to a facility. It has to be when I say it has to be like we got to be in there about to kill each other because that's what it's got to be. I ain't never gonna be the person running around the kitchen. Not me. I
I
don't
think
care. He,
for a lot of people to see certain things and say what they would do, but until
yeah.
you're actually in that situation, you really don't know.
Yeah, and you don't know because me and James, we have a god brother. His name is Paul. He has cerebral palsy. He's always been very strong. I've never been scared of him because I've always had my brother next to me to have my back when we was around him. But the boy was so strong. What he used to do is he used to take my hand and he would talk to my hand. And his mom would be like, "Don't let him do that." And it's like, "What do you mean he heavy? What I'm supposed to do?" And I would try to take my hand back, and he would take it back, and he would just like. And it got to the point where I would tell my brother like, "Just let him do it." Because who is he hurting? He just talking to my hand. I just take it. But just know when it comes to me trying to take it back, the boy's so strong I can't take my hand back, and then that causes a tussle. Then that causes a problem. So even at a young age, I was already thinking like, okay, let me just he gonna talk to my hand for however long. We gonna let it continue for however long. I'm gonna try to, stall him out, do something else, and then maybe I can get my hand back. But like we have been around, those type of children like a long time, and we don't. I don't want to say it's normal to us, but we know how to coexist.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can. I think a lot of people just choose not to.
Right.
Right.
And then a lot of times, like I said, my son can feel energy. My son can feel energy. Like I cannot, I tell people all the time, I cannot control it. He feels it. He knows. Like my sister, I love her to death. But you know how you have that one family member that's always yelling at their kids, and you like, yeah, I ain't never bringing my kids over here. That's my sister, my older sister. Like she yells a lot. So
Hmm.
him not liking noise, he don't even like being around her. Like when he go to her house, he instantly just go in her backyard and go on the trampoline. He don't even like going in the house. Like
Right.
she yells a lot. So like he don't like to deal with her. When he go in her house, you give her a hug, you give her a little speak. You ain't gonna see him again until we leaving.
Right.
He
Yeah.
don't, bother with her because she yell and like she just, she angry a lot and he don't too much bother with that. Like he be like, all right, you got something going on, I'm gonna go on my way, you go your way.
Right.
Yeah.
But he knows energy. Like on my brother, he don't like men too much. And I tell his dad all the time, I blame you because if he had you, he wouldn't have an issue. He's probably searching and trying to figure out who is who and who his dad is, and he angry about it until he figure it out. How you know? I don't know. He can't
Right.
tell me.
Right.
But like my brothers, like my actual brothers, it's like he know they my brothers. Like even him and Jason's never met in person, but like they can have a relationship. Like if I put him on the phone with James, he's gonna sit in front of the phone. He's not gonna move.
Right.
Okay.
They not gonna say too much or too many words to each other. Like James will talk to him and have a whole conversation with him, but he just gonna look at him and smile and laugh and. But like he is somebody that he'll sit on the phone for. Like it says a lot about him. He's
Yeah.
never met him ever in his life. I don't show him pictures of him like this show Uncle. Da da da. We do FaceTimes, but like he just knows. It's like he knows. He can feel it, and it's like with y'all, he got on here and he smiled because he knew like he could feel it. Like if it was
Right.
anybody else, like I try to have him on FaceTime, random people like, oh yeah, this my son. He'd be looking crazy, like you don't move that on my face, like absolutely not. So, like I said, like even with me, like I said here, I feel good energy, good vibes. Like I feel that here. I'm comfortable here. Like and anybody else, he would have been. I'd have been like, I'm not going up there. Is you crazy?
Right. Right. Right.
But
Y'all hear me?
I do appreciate and I do value what you guys hold in this platform because I couldn't even do this on my own platform. I used to be on an app called Bigo. I used to host on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I didn't like to talk about it on there because on there, I don't know if y'all know it's different on there. It's a younger crowd on there. They
Mm-hmm.
talk about dead people, disabled kids, all type of stuff. Like they will bring up everything.
Mm.
So you can't really go into like stuff like this on there without, you got a couple of trolls gonna come on there and
Oh yeah.
discourage you. So I could never really, do this on the platform I was on. So it's very relieving and I do appreciate it because I know it sounds bad that I gave advice to like be in like the groups, but I'm not in no mommy and me groups.
Right.
But I would advise that people get in them. I'm not in any because I'm a loner. I'm just like that. I don't know why. I always been like that. I don't do the mommy and me groups because I can't keep up with them. I might go to one or two, but after that, I'm like with it because you got to be consistent with them. Like you got to keep up. You make friends from that stuff. I don't want to say I don't want to make friends, but I don't. I don't. It take a lot out of you. People have, souls, demons, energies. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just for me, I do I wish people if you don't have a like a mom group or whatever, go to therapy. If you have all like even if I don't care if you got regular kids, go to therapy, do something for yourself. Like please do because me personally, it's been days I've been stressed out and nobody knew a thing. I made sure everybody else was fine, but me, I was going through it and nobody knew.
Understood.
So, just be there for your people, check on your people. Even if they are handling it amazingly. Like my brother said, he is very proud of me, but I wear a smile, but it's days, it's not a smile on his face, but nobody knows it unless I leave out of this house.
Understood.
So, I would say, just give people their flowers while they're alive. That would be my only advice. Have patience with these babies. It don't matter if they're autistic or not. I don't care what they are. Have patience with these babies. They did not ask to be here. Um, and just give yourself more grace as a mom.
Mm.
That's what I would say. Or as a parent, you have single fathers, single mothers, single
Yes.
grandparents. You never know. So just give yourself grace as a parent, even if you feel like you're not doing your best. Your best is yet to come.
Mhm.
Um, you're not always going to be in the same spot in life. That's not how life goes, unless you want to sit in that same spot. So
Right.
that would be my closing advice for anybody. I do appreciate you guys for having me up here, CJ and Shereese, because this
Absolutely.
has been an amazing night for me. Like it was definitely a little reliever for me. I do appreciate it. A little middle of the week get up.
I
I got a birthday party and stuff to do tomorrow, so I know I'm gonna be overwhelmed. So I do appreciate that. But
Absolutely.
James, did you want to say anything else before I go?
Can y'all hear me?
yeah.
Again, I am extremely proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you doing this. You know what I'm saying? I know you was getting them situated, and you had to step away. Christian probably just still looking at the side of your head right now, but uh, I just wanted to say thank you again, and we'll touch bases after this. I'll hit you up, but I did want to tell you when you hit me up about Harmony situation this last time. I did tell Shereese because I ain't know what to do. You was freaking out. I was freaking out. I hit Shereese like, listen, our
Listen, I'm
baby is
still freaking
growing up,
out.
and I
Still
don't know
freaking
what
out.
to do. I had PTSD because the last time I went through this is when you were growing up and you had your first menstrual, and
Yeah.
I thought the world was about to end. I thought somebody hurt my sister. I was ready to whoop the whole house ass. So it was like that all over again. But for her daughter, I was like, this ain't even my child. Like, what if I have a daughter and I have to go through this myself? So I hit Shereese up like, listen, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. But I just want to say that I appreciate both of y'all. And Barbara, if you don't know, you will learn soon that Shereese is like Tiny when it comes to being protective and territorial over her siblings. Like if she welcomes you into her home and she loves on you, hey big girl, pretty self. Um, if she loves on you like that, she is extremely protective. I asked for your address for her to be transparent, you know, so be on the lookout. She does send amazing things. I think I'm on what package 3. How many boxes you done sent me, Shereese?
About 3 or 4.
Yeah, and Barbara got one in her trunk right now for me. So I appreciate both of y'all. I thank y'all for this opportunity for having, you know, my baby sister up here sharing her story. You
Absolutely.
know, me sharing mine and my experience with everybody. You know,
Hmm.
this was truly amazing and always a good time here. Always welcoming, always comfortable. Um, this is definitely one for the books. I'm proud of y'all for doing this, and I'm glad that y'all did. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for this channel and for this episode specifically because this is going to get out there. This has
Yeah.
been amazing. Like to see the different level. I didn't even know it was 3 different types of categories on the
Spectrums, yeah.
spectrum. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something that I just learned today.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I learned something new every single conversation that we have about this, and I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this channel and you guys. I just love it here. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we
That means a
appreciate it,
lot.
man. We definitely appreciate it. And you know, we this actually wasn't even a part of this season. If I'm keeping it a buck, we didn't know that autism had. I mean, a whole
Awareness Month.
awareness month. We had no idea. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But once we found out that April was Autism Awareness Month, I went to my wife. We talked. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's dedicate an episode to autism, especially being that we are somewhat familiar with autism. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With Tyrell and everything. Like so, um, you know, it was put together last minute, but it was worth it though.
And I think it turned out amazing.
Yeah, it absolutely did. It absolutely.
Definitely, because I learned some stuff and he helped my discouragement go down so much because like he is very at peace and I love that for him and his mom. Like she's so positive. I really appreciate that experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank y'all so much, man. Always, you know, and you know, it makes us feel good seeing the progress because Barb has come on this platform before, but she ain't opened that camera before. You know what I'm saying? So
I
we
try
see,
because I try not to because I'm like I'm gonna have to keep turning the camera off, turn the mic
right,
off. Like I
right,
thought they were gonna be wilding out, but they chilling. They not even bothering me.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's super dope. You know what I'm saying? And to get the perspective from Tyrell, somebody just living with it, and now as a grown man, to
Yeah.
his mom coming up, giving us the perspective of a parent raising a grown man, and then you coming up and talking about your young son with autism, and then AJ coming up talking about his sister raising a son with autism. I just thought it was super dope, man, for getting the different perspectives and stuff like that, and it turned out to be super dope. And people in the comments, of course, in the chat, giving their perspectives and everything with their experiences. So it turned out exactly the way we wanted it, and we just want to say we appreciate each and every one of y'all and everybody that came up on the channel tonight.
And Barbara, you are not alone, baby. You are doing amazing.
Yes.
You are not alone. You have a village.
Yep.
You can get the number from AJ if you ever need a listening ear. We are here.
Yep, we're here for you whenever you need us.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Before I go, I just want to thank the comments. I'm gonna get down in the comments, but I just want to thank the comments because I did see like all the stuff going by, but I didn't want to interrupt what nobody was saying. And I do appreciate all the comments, all like the love, everything that y'all pour into me. I do deeply appreciate it. I was not ignoring y'all. I just didn't want to interrupt them. But thank y'all so much because I saw everything. Trust me, y'all. It little stuff like that keeps people going. You'll be surprised. But thank y'all so much. I'm gonna get down in these comments. Thank y'all for letting me come up here. I appreciate it.
Barb, always.
Oh, they are asking if you have a YouTube channel, Barb.
I don't be on it. It's not like nothing I be on, but this is my actual YouTube channel, like what you see on there, like my little username. That's my actual channel I be on.
Okay. All right.
But
I want
yeah,
to add
thank you
something before you
guys.
go, Barbara.
Okay.
So the last conversation that we had with our older sibling when she had me get in the camera, that wouldn't have happened without this platform. We went years without talking, without even batting an eye. Like,
yeah,
that wouldn't have happened without this platform. And when CJ and Shereese tell you if you need anything, they're a phone call away. They really mean that. Outside of you and Shadi, they are the only ones that check in with me mentally, physically, on a daily. So when they say that to you, they really mean that. And I'll definitely give you her number. But I want to make sure you knew that without them, even a family can bring Tiny together. And it is what it is at this point. But we here now. Progress has been made. And again, I just want to show, appreciation to you guys for that. And thank God for putting y'all in my life and being a part of this journey that I'm on. And I'm getting this comment before my eyes get misty. But I
yeah, because
appreciate
you that voice over there quivering. I'm gonna let you go on ahead now.
it. You can go now, Barbara. Thank you. I'm going in the bushes. Bye.
All right,
bye, little brother.
Love y'all.
Love you too,
bro. All right, y'all. Well, this turned out to be one of those, man. You know what I'm saying? I know we kept y'all longer than what we usually do, but I think this episode was definitely permitting of I'm gonna go through the star comments. Yes. Y'all know we don't ignore y'all comments. Sometimes we just in the moment and we don't want to interrupt our guests.
Before he goes to the comments, I just gotta highlight one thing, one special thing. My baby has been here the whole night.
That's a fact.
Her eyes is all watery. My baby been here the whole entire night. She ain't gonna get on the camera because she in the bonnet. Y'all know she a little diva.
Yeah.
But Stink has been here all night, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mommy love you.
Yeah. She been here the whole, and she shows her pride and how proud of her parents that she is, because I think she's just proud of us and how far we've come when it comes to our channel and this platform and stuff like that. And she felt like this was a very important, because at the end of the day, she came up with Tyrell too. I mean, Tyrell's older than her.
Yeah.
But Tyrell and our daughter's always been close too, coming up. So
listen, Tyrell used to sit in front of Stink's walker and would put his head on her walker and let her drool all over his head.
Fact.
And he didn't like no dirt, no nothing. But Stink was the only one that can drool on that little boy's head.
Yep, that's a fact. So I asked I asked them for permission before I put them on camera, so I'll give it a try. No, it's. I mean, we appreciate that, but to see both of your kids and on the social den smiling into that camera, that's all we needed to see.
They are beautiful children,
Yep.
just like you.
Yep. Much love to everyone in the chat, and thank y'all for the kind words, my baby. Absolutely. And real quick, y'all, we wanted to I want to read these start comments, and then I want to read real quick. I want to read the comments, and then I want to read these stats that I found online real quick. It's not gonna be long at all, but I wanted to read them out, and I hope I can find them again. Oh man, I can't even find them again. But real quick, let me read these start comments. Tag said, every student I've had with autism has been completely different. There isn't a one size fit all approach. Excuse me. You have high functioning and those who have more severe behaviors, a wide spectrum. And that's exactly what I was just saying to Bob. Like, you can't treat every person, every individual with autism the same, because they're all individuals and they're all different. So that's a great point, Tag. Lacasia stepped in and said, hey family, what a great subject. I'm a little behind, but I'm here. What up, Lacasia?
Hey, Lacasia, boo.
She said, my son has autism and Tyrell reminds me of him. He too is a twin, but I lost my little girl, but she saved his life. Thanks for sharing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, and we thank you for sharing, and thank you for being here tonight as always. Tag said, Miss Chris, yes, same with my cousin's twins. One of my students with autism also tested as gifted and talented with very high grades in school and such a variety. They awesome people, man. They are dope. Autistic people are super dope. You're right about the kids being hungry. My son was in kindergarten, always late to class. Come to find out he's going through the breakfast line twice. Them people probably thought yeah. I mean, it's the characteristics differ from each individual. That's the whole point we was trying to make. Yes, there are some high functional autistic kids that sometimes get misdiagnosed because they seem as if they're normal. Right. And it's being pushed off. Like you have, like Bob said, and I thought that was the perfect analogy, like when it comes down to the black sheep of the family. Maybe there was a reason they was being a black sheep. Maybe there was a reason that they weren't interacting with everybody else when everybody was at the cookouts or the block parties or the birthday parties. It's not because they're weird. It's not because they're antisocial or nothing like that. It's probably something deeper, which could be autism. You know what I'm saying? But it was pushed off because, unfortunately, the ignorance is bliss. You know what I'm saying? But I'll leave that there, though. Tornado sirens get to my son, and he goes watching the news more than me, and the meltdown begins. He's making sure we are in a safe place and everything. Understood. They look at it's like everybody in the world has the same phone. Let me see if this analogy works. Everybody in the world has the same phone, but autistic individuals, their phones work differently than our phones do. You know what I'm saying? And that's in a great way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more in a literal sense. They look at everything literally. They look at everything differently. You know what I'm saying? In a more unique way. I'll say that. Unique is a good word to use. You know what I'm saying? Their brains work in a very unique way. You know what I'm saying? And patience is another key word that we use tonight that should be used a lot when it comes to people with autism. And lastly, Tag said, your journey as a mom of a son with autism and a daughter with ADHD should be your content. Share your journey and tools you learn. So many moms can relate. There you go, Bob. You heard it first. Tag for short.
Bob, there's a suggestion to start your content channel.
You know what I'm saying? For real though. And like me and my wife have touched on that when it comes to people saying, What I don't know what I'll post on my channel, and you'll be surprised what people can relate to. The littlest things that people can relate to. And it's not saying, I'm not saying autism is little. I'm just saying content can be a wide range of things because it's somebody out there going through the same thing that you're going through. My godson has high functioning Asperger's. Right now, he works for a company that's trying to find a cure for cancer. Look at that. Super dope. His intelligence is off the charts. You just never know, man. You just never know. I will watch Bob. I'm sure a lot of people will watch Bob. I'm definitely following you if you do start a channel, Bob. There you go, Bob.
I say we all subscribe to Barb just in case one day she decides to start posting content. Y'all know how we do.
Can somebody post her
Satin, you know how you do.
You do go to the chat and just click her name and just post her link real quick. And then we can all go ahead and subscribe to her and we can make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know.
I'm gonna call you after the live news. What's wrong? Something wrong?
So look, real quick, y'all, these stats I wanted to get to. It's just real quick. About 1 in 31 children aged 8 years has been identified with autism. Another one is ASD is reported to occur in all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups, meaning that it's worldwide. You know what I'm saying? It's not just in the United States. You know, everybody in the world, not everybody, but it's a worldwide thing. It's not just in the United States. Autism is global. It's not just in the USA. About 1 in 6 children aged 3 to 17 years were diagnosed with a developmental disability as reported by parents during a study period of 2009 to 2017. These included autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is ADHD, blindness, cerebral palsy, among others. So I think the one that really sticks out is the fact that it's global. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Like, it's global. It's autism is a common thing all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And also, these punk ass myths that people tend to and that's why I say, when I say ignorant, everybody know what I mean when I say ignorant. It just means ignorance means not being aware and not doing your research and not knowing what the hell you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? All autistic people are the same. That's a fact. I mean, that's not a fact. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's a spectrum. No two experiences are identical at all. Every individual is an individual for a reason. They're all individuals. They live their own lives. They have their own brains, and they're going to be their own person when they, become of age and become adults and build, start a family, start a business, whatever it is that, God has planned for them. You know what I'm saying? Every autistic person is different. They don't have emotions. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? They feel deeply, sometimes even more intense than we do. Why? Because they look at things differently than we do. You know what I'm saying? Their brains work differently than we do. They can be some of the hardest lovers in the world, love harder than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because of how they look at the world, the way they embrace everybody, or the way they embrace situations is differently than we do. You know what I'm saying? Autism only affects kids. Another lie. Autism is lifelong. Adults exist and they matter too. Like we said when Barb was up on the panel earlier, some people haven't found out that they were autistic until they were adults. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get rid of that narrative too. It's unfortunate for the the adults that didn't find out till later on in their life, because unfortunately they were being told that it's nothing, like they just, they just different. They the black sheeps of the family, like Barb touched on too. You know what I'm saying? So that narrative got to go as well. Adults are just as important. Autistic adults are just as important as autistic kids, is the point I'm trying to make. Myth number 4, they just need discipline. What do you think that's going to get? There's a lot of people that think that discipline is always the answer. No. You know what I'm saying? You got to dig deeper. This is your child. This is not a stranger. That's why we always say, like, everybody doesn't deserve kids, and it's the truth. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth. And you have to be patient. You have to find out why your child is in that corner when everybody else is over here in front of the TV watching TV or watching the movie, but your child is in the corner counting crayons or whatever it is they do. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to touch on those myths because I just feel like it's unfair to autistic individuals. You know what I'm saying? Their voice should be heard. And I also feel like autism is not something that should be fixed, because it can't be fixed. Autism is not something that should be fixed. It's something that should be embraced. I think we all need to embrace autistic people. We all need to embrace autism as a whole and maybe educate yourself more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're a parent with a young child that you feeling like, wow, like what's wrong? Like what's going on? Maybe you need to go and find out, take them to a specialist or whatever it takes. Do your research and find out, if your child is autistic. There's a lot of resources out here, whether it be online or whatever, in the library, whatever it takes. This is your child. This is not a stranger. You know what I'm saying? It's something that needs to be done. And I think autism is something that needs to have a bigger magnifying glass hovering over top of it, because it's just as important as anything else. And I just feel like it's not touched on enough. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, we have been on live for over 2 hours. We hope that everyone has enjoyed this show. Real quick. Oh, wait. Yes, I'll work on it. I have a tripod and ring light. I don't know why I haven't thought about it. Come on, Barb. And if you have any questions, we're here. Not saying that we have all the answers, but if you need anything from us when it comes to that, we would love to help. And we really think that your journey as a YouTuber will be dope. So, yes.
Did anybody drop a link?
Yes. Please stay on my case, y'all. Oh, don't worry about that. And your brother gonna stay on your ass too, so don't even worry about that.
You subscribe?
You should have quite a few subscribers coming through right now.
Even Sting says she subscribed.
Yep, and we're gonna do it right after this live. You can do it now. So true tag, something that it is very hard for us brown and black kids to be diagnosed with that spectrum, because they always think that it's behavioral problems instead of what it really is. Absolutely. Make sure you hit subscribe 3 times tonight before you leave. 1 for Barbara, 1 for Michelle, and 1 for Stink. Absolutely. Barb, I feel you on that. I'm kind of the same way. Barb, even if you do it as shorts, 10-minute or less tips, ideas, or even just nuggets to help others, you got this. There you go. I will watch the replay, what I have missed. All right, Rico, we appreciate you as always.
Hey, Rico.
Barb following. Triple D following. Yes,
Uncle AJ said, hey, Stink.
Advocate for those kiddos. Hey, Stink. Yeah. All right, y'all. So
sorry for
this has been super dope. We really enjoyed this episode. It turned out exactly the way we wanted it to. Shout out to everybody that came up on the panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for y'all's wisdom in the chat as well. We saw everybody, and I don't think I ignored nobody tonight. I think we touched on every single comment and all of that. And shout outs to Tyrell, shout outs to Mika, shout outs to AJ, shout outs to Barb. Thank y'all for coming up on the panel. And y'all, we'll be back next week for a brand new episode of The Social Den. We're gonna go ahead and let Vicky take us out with prayer, and then we're gonna get on up out of here. All right. So everybody bow your heads, and let's let our sister Vicky take us out.
Heavenly and gracious Father, We come before you with humble hearts, giving you all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise. Lord God, we thank you for who you are, our Alpha, our Omega, our Sustainer. Father God, we thank you for your servants, CJ and Shereese. We thank you for their obedience, for answering the call you placed on their lives, and for walking boldly in purpose. Continue to bless the work of their hands, Lord God. Cover their platform, their voices, and their vision, and allow everything they do to bring glory back to you. We thank you for every person you have assigned to surround them with love, encouragement, and support. Bless those who follow them, those who uplift them, and those who have gathered here today. May no one leave this space the same way they came. Lord God, we ask that you be healing to the sick, comfort to the brokenhearted, peace to the troubled mind, joy to those who are grieving, and strength to those who are weak. Fill every empty place with your presence, your love, and your grace. We thank you once again for this gathering, Father God, and we trust that every seed planted today will bear good fruit in due season. We are forever grateful for you and all that you continue to do. It is in the mighty, matchless, and precious name of Jesus that we pray. Amen.
Amen. And shout outs to Vicky's World, man. We love her dearly.
Yes, God.
For a dope, super powerful prayer. We love each and every one of y'all, man.
Hey, brother Jahad.
What's up, Jahad? And we glad you enjoyed it, bro. Thank you for watching. Everybody that was in the bushes watching, we appreciate y'all as well. We know that everybody can't be in the chat at all, every single episode. So we appreciate everybody that's in the bushes as well. We will be back next week for a brand new episode of The Social Den. We hope everybody enjoyed the show. Shout outs to all of our guests and everybody in the chat. God bless you all. Make sure you tell somebody you love them if you haven't already, because tomorrow is not what?
Promised.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And until next time, folks, peace.
Another night in the den. We felt your love in every word you said. Story shared, hearts wide open. Ooh, you made this home. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. The Social Den, where love remains. We'll see you soon. Back in the den.